All right, we're back up in Michigan. I'm working that north-south corridor, so you know that always leads me back to RPM Records. And if you remember, we left off with letter E, so I'm going to pick right back up on that Northern Soul searching with letter F. Let's go see if the guys are around. Gotta love when they got free stuff outside. We got some free CDs, and we got record store day coming up too. What's up, guys? Detroit Bob's back to start up with letter F.
Morning, Bobby.
Yeah, how's it going, man?
Doing good. How are you, man?
All right, cool.
Saturday, 9 a.m.
Yeah, April 12th is record store day. These guys are all ready for it, and we filmed here before, so yeah, I love the 45 room, so that's where I'm gonna head right now.
Oh, yeah, man.
See you in a little bit.
See you in a bit.
Right there, baby. That's what we like. I always notice like record store bathrooms are always totally decorated. This one is all picture discs. We got Michael Jackson, we got Rod Stewart. And I remember these came out in the 80s and I'm like, yeah. And someone said the quality wasn't that good. But this is really what they're designed for, is decoration. So what a better place. I said that the Sounds Good music was great, but oh, look at that. Isaac Hayes again in the fold out. That's 2 record stores in a row where they have the Mosaic Isaac Hayes fold out in the bathroom. If you guys remember, this is where we left off, so I'll clear a spot here. We have our Caliphone 1030 AV here. I'll set my list here. We're going to pick up with F. And I'm going to talk a lot during this episode. I'm going to give you a little background on Michigan, on me, and how I got into music. You know, dead air is not a good thing. And I thought last episode we had too much dead air. So at the risk of being obnoxious, I'm going to talk. Remember, letter F is where we left off last time. So that's where we're going to pick up. So let's start by grabbing this. Now, we missed Tim the last couple times, but he designed these crates. And they're perfect for 45s. So these are all homemade crates. I like it because they got a low shoulder, if you follow me. So this is low, and they let a little bit of light in on these slots on the side. So these are really cool. They're not too heavy because the records themselves get heavy. All right, let's start looking at F. Where are we? Well, if you're from Michigan, the state is shaped like a hand. So this is all water. It's a peninsula. And then there's an upper peninsula that looks something like this. Or is it this? Either way, in England, you guys are surrounded by water. All the way around, you're an island. We're a peninsula. So we have Great Lakes, Erie, Ontario, Huron, Superior, and Michigan. So we're right here. That's Traverse City, Michigan. I was born and raised in Detroit, which is right there. First of all, there's not a lot of F's on the classic soul list, which is good. Which means I'll have time to get through F and maybe even G. So that's where we're going to start, right up here with Fantastic Johnny C. Don't Depend on Me. Let's see if we got it. I was just talking with Riley about a $400 record that I was talking. I was hoping it was here. He's got it at home, but you can look it up on Traverse City. RPM Records is the name of the shop, and they have it for sale on their Discogs page. Oh, in the meantime, we're looking for Fantastic Johnny C. Don't let me get sidetracked. Fantastic Fascinations Fathers. And the way it works here is alphabetical order. I mean, I could go classic rock all day long, but I want to try to stay organized and I want to try to stay focused. So none of these Northern soul bands typically have their own little bin because they're more rare. I take that back, like Jackie Wilson probably does, you know what I mean? But the one song that's considered NS, or you guys call it Northern Soul, is probably a lot harder to find. So we're already through bin 1, and we don't have any Fantastic Johnny. We don't have any Fascinations. We don't have any Father's Angels. So I know I'm at Falco here, so I'm already on the bin 2. So I would love to dig in and buy some of these faces, but that's not the goal of this trip. See, there's a lot of F's. So just because there's not a lot of F Northern Soul, I got to I got to wait. Like Foreigner has its own bin. Per capita, Traverse City, I was told, bought more Foreigner records than anywhere in the United States. And they came to town when I worked out at the farm, at Underwood Farm. And they were down on Front Street, and they did an in-store record store visit. I begged my dad to go, but I had to work, so couldn't make it. The Four Seasons have their own bin. So out of the Fs, those two groups have their own little bin. Let's move on and get another one. Another thing I like about here, the lighting's pretty good. Some of these you won't see, but I'll go through them one by one. I'm looking for Fantastic, Johnny C, The Fascinations, or Father's Angels. Now, if I see something that I gotta have in between, you know I'm gonna grab it. So nothing there. Fifth Estate, we're already on to the Eyes. The Fidels would have been one, but I don't see them either. So let's go on and pick another one out. I'm gonna move pretty quick. Fifth Dimension. The whole bin is Fifth Dimension. So it's really a 5, but it starts with an F. So that's Tim's way of up and away in my beautiful balloon. I got 1,000,000 Fifth Dimension records. So we'll put them back. And we're on FI, so let's keep going. Fifth Estate. Interesting. Fine Young Cannibals. Love them. You know that song, Good Thing? Does that sound like the original Tainted Love, or is that just me? By the Fine Young Cannibals. I don't know why I'm thinking about that. They're a great band. They only had, I think, 2 releases. Fleetwood Mac, Misfiled. Fireballs. They got a lot. Jimmy Glimmer in the Fireballs. Bottle of Wine was a big one. Bottle of Wine. Didn't they do Sugar Shack also? Bottle of Wine was big. I remember spinning that 45 when I was a kid right there. Bottle of wine, bottle of wine. When you gonna let me get sober? Right, don't panic just yet. I have a feeling some of these I'm gonna find, if I find anything, I'm gonna find them back in the general miscellaneous file. So bear with me. Okay, so FI, the Fidels, don't see it. The 5 Keys, the 5 Americans, Firm, Firehouse. All right, yeah, let's move on. I'm pulling racks here, left and right. Fleetwood Mac's in this one. Now, Fleetwood Mac probably would sell a lot of records on Discogs, but I just can't start buying everything. Someone sprayed something. Let me go close that door. He was telling me about that record. He had it at $700 on Discogs. He lowered it to $400. But he knew the song and the label, and he knew it right away. And that's how you got to get. And you guys are a lot better than I am. You have this Northern Soul just memorized. So we're not going to find any Fidels. And we're not going to buy any Fleetwood Mac. Let's keep moving. All right, so Fidels, Flame Flamingos. We didn't see any of those either. I'll double check. Flock of Seagulls. Flying Lizards. God, I love them. They only had that one song, right? Well, Money. You know, I'm going to probably buy a copy of it because it's the most bizarre version of Money. That one's got some wear. And it's not an expensive record. That one's got some wear. These all look like promo versions. There's a good one right there. That's probably a very good plus. I'm going to get it. Why? It's a Motown song, right? You look very close. Barry Gordy. It's his first hit, right? Well, didn't Barrett Strong do it? what was the label that was on Anna, A-N-N-A, before Motown? Correct me if I'm wrong. This is 1979. There's a chick singing it. Sort of a new wave, Gary Newman inspired version. Sparse, weird, but awesome at the same time. So we're looking at the list. Flame, Flamingos, Fletcher. I don't see any of these. Flirtations, hang on. Damn. So there is a bin for the Flirtations, but someone's already been through here and pulled them. Uh-oh. Someone must be watching my episodes. So there you go. Flirtations. Gone. You always check one or two to make sure they didn't get misfiled. Someone has culled the Northern Soul. That ain't good. Oh well, let's keep looking. What I'm afraid of is after watching one of these episodes, one of you UK guys flew over here and just cleaned out the whole room of Northern Soul. So I guess that's the risk you take, right? I just want everybody to start buying and loving 45s, and I think we need to revive the format. It's a great collectible. Think about it. When you collect coins, you collect a single coin. It's got an A side, it's got a B side. It's something you can hold in your hand. An album is already a collection. So the collecting of the different songs has already taken the fun out of it. The B side on 45s is just as cool as the A side, if not better. How's it going, man? So let's keep looking. Don't see anything in here. Foster Fountain 4. James Fountain. Frankie Ford. Let's see here. We got Fogarty, so F.O. Fountain. Wayne Fountain and Mindbenders. Rotations. Steve Forbert. 4. Yeah, let's move on. All right, so we're not going to do Foreigner. Let's try this bit. Excuse me. All right, so right now I'm looking for 4 Perfections. Fountain. 4 aces, 4 coins. Foundations. I got a great song, The Baby, Now That I've Found You. It's a nice clean version of that. I'm gonna pick that up. Build Me Up Buttercup. That's on a nice uni label right there. It looks pretty good. I think those were I think the lead singer of the Foundations was from the Caribbean. But those were the 2 big hits, Build Me Up Buttercup and Baby Now That I Found You. I remember hearing them on the radio in Detroit. CKLW probably played the hell out of them. You got the nice uni matching sleeve, very colorful on that. That's one thing I look for is a nice clean matching company sleeve. It was a nice twofer, right? It looks in pretty good shape. I'd call it very good. Don't mind me talking, I'm just doing an episode. That one looks better. All right, Foundations. Not on the Northern Soul list, but I feel like they should be. And Jeffrey from Maryland is the guy that got me this list. So I keep talking about the guy from the East Coast. I thought somebody from the UK sent it to me, but it was Jeffrey from Maryland, one of our subscribers. He reminded me last night. I told him I would memorize his name. All right, let's keep moving. All right, we're past the Foreigner. What I like about RPM is the price is good. 45 7-inch records, $2 each, 3 for $5. So there you go. Foundations, 4 squares. Let's pull this rack. 45 collectors are a strange breed. We get into the meat and potatoes of the collection hobby. We have our ways of organizing our collections. Some guys are near mint or mint only. Other guys like me, I just want it to play. So 4 perfections, 4 preps, 4 lads, 4 knights, 4 esquires, 4 perfections. And moving on. Sounds like we got some. Sounds a little like Otis Redding in the background. 4 Seasons. Gonna pass on that. 4 Tops. They got a big. So I was in here one time. There was a guy here from Memphis, and all he was doing is buying Memphis Soul. A lot of stuff on the high label. 4 Tops. Surprised the 4 Tops don't have something on this list. 4 Voices. All right, so here we go. Inez Fox. And they're on the Northern Soul list. So let's see if we get the right one. Tightrope is the one I'm looking for. But I do love Mockingbird. Nice clean copy of that on Silver Spotlight. I know it was a good one too. So I'm picking that up. Count the days. Stranger, I don't know. So, and that's and Charlie Fox. You know the song Mockingbird. I mean, not only was it featured in Dumb and Dumber, but Carly Simon and James Taylor did a great cover of it. So there you go. Foxy, Charles Fox, Peter Frampton. So we're getting in there. We got Frankie, Freeman, Fuller, and Furious. Let's keep moving. Flying through these F's. Connie Francis, Frankie and the Knockouts. Franklin. Let's go back and see what I got to deal with. So once again, Jeffrey in is it Maryland? Massachusetts. He's the one who gave me the list, Jeffrey. Now I'll forget his state. That's how bad I am. I can tell you the name of a song in 1 second, but I can't remember the guy's name. Okay, where are we at? Frankie and Johnny and Frankie and the Classicals. Frankie and Johnny, Connie Francis, Frankie and the Knockouts, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Michael Franks. And it goes right on to Franklin. And then we get into Art Freeman and Bobby Freeman. Bobby Freeman. Hang on. Let's check that out. All right, if you use a list, it helps keep you focused. So I'm looking for Bobby Freeman, I'll Never Fall in Love Again. And he does have his own little slot there, so that's a good sign. Sort of a weird label. Come on and swim. Come on and swim. Do you want to dance? I wonder if he did that originally. Bobby Freeman. The Beach Boys did it, and I think the Ramones did it too. Do you want to dance? By Bobby Freeman. I'm looking for I'll Never Fall in Love Again. And I'm not seeing, but I'm seeing a lot of Do You Want to Dance. That's his big hit. I'm quite sure of it. On Autumn Records. I'll pick up a Do You Want to Dance if it's in good shape. Looks like a reissue on Virgo. Zoom out a little bit. It's got that priced at $5. All right. This is a case where I got a Northern Soul artist, but not the particular song that I'm looking for. All right, so let's keep moving. I think we go right from Freeman to Ford. And don't forget, we still have the let's go see. Okay, so the Fuller Brothers, Fury and Fuller Brothers. So Art Freeman, Fuller and Fury. Maybe I don't have to drag every one of these over here. I think we're into the miscellaneous. Fuller. Bobby Fuller. I'm gonna check. See if something's misfiled in there. Everybody knows this, right? I fought the law and the law won on Mustang. By the Bobby Fuller 4. That's a good song. Clash did a great job of it. In fact, I think the first time I heard the Clash was them doing I Fought the Law. I'm gonna get that reissue. These are good, these twofers. That one looks brand new. And Lost Night. Last night someone told me it was sort of a label that was picking up a lot of old doo-wop reissues and sort of saved them from going into obscurity. So boy, I love this song. There's one on Lost Night, there's one on Eric. Let's see what this looks like. But a little beat up. It's probably the original pressing right there. Little Annie Lou. Little Annie Lou, that's the original. So these two, this is the reissue of this with the A side, I Fought the Law, and the B side, Little Annie Lou. So I'm going to get that. Then I'm going to get this one, which has a different B side. So there you go. The two of them. Alright, so we're moving on. Let's get into the generic Fs. Right behind you. Thanks. It's nice about this place. You can come in here and Today we just have one other guy here. So we're in northern Michigan, we're at RPM Records, and we're looking for anything that says Northern Soul in the generics. Floyd and Jury, Flame, Flamingos, Fletcher's, Sand, The Flirtations, Flower Shop. Figures on a beach. These guys are great. They're out of Detroit. I think Don Was produced them. I ain't seen nothing yet. I forget what the... I might pick up a couple of their stuff. They're a Detroit band. They were around the scene when I was at the State. When I say State, I'm talking Michigan State. It's the largest public university in the state of Michigan. Spent 4 years up there listening to bands like this. Alright, what do we got? Cool. Tim must have run out of envelopes. Country Kings. Juries, The Fuzz, Fowler Brothers, Ocean Groove, Fortune, Foster, Flower Shop. Jerry Fuller. Fuller Brothers is what I'm looking for. Great song right here. Frankie and Johnny. There you go, right there. I'm gonna buy it. 5 + 2. Okay, Frankie and Johnny is the name of the group. This is the name of a song called Frankie and Johnny. Not to be confused. Another great Detroit band was a band called Rhythm Corps. Fuel. When did that come out? I'm gonna pick that up. Zoom in a little bit. Defended. Pretty mild. I'm on fire, 5,000 volts. Still on fire. I'm on fire. Free beer. Flying Burrito Brothers. Flushing Coral Leaves. Every once in a while I go back to my list, I read through it,
Fantastic Johnny, Fascinations, Father's Angels, $5, Flame and King, Flamingos, Fletcher, Flirtations, Flower Shop, Foster, Eddie Foster, James Fountain, Four Perfections, Inez and Charlie Fox, Frankie and Johnny, Frankie and the Classicals, Art Freeman, Bobby Freeman, Fuller Brothers, and the Furies. French Kiss. Hey, when are you guys going to start doing beer and pizza on Saturdays?
Dude, once we get a liquor license, man, bring your own. It's not illegal.
I am getting sort of hungry. Okay, let's see. We're finishing up the F's. First class beach, baby. All right. I'm running out of patience. And never do this on an empty stomach, which is what I have right now. So, otherwise your mind just starts, you have low blood sugar, messes up your concentration. Fuel. Hey, in my hands. I'm getting that fuel. That was a big hit. Feathers. Well, I'm going to keep powering through this, keep talking. Some of these I already have. So you're going to say, oh, go back and get that one. There's those flying lizards again. Different version, though. Blue.
Looks like somebody was like, he was like kicking mine out.
Charles Fox. Family. Four Coachmen. I'm looking for the Four Perfections. There's the money again. There's the picture sleeve. Great song. The Freewheelers. Mark Fredericks. All right, let's keep moving. That's my last box of F's, and I think I'm going to call it quick. The Freedom Singers. Fireflies. Betty Foster, Nancy Ford, Ann Fisher, Billy Farrell, the Big Fellows, Fireflies, the Fraternity Brothers.
Those are kind of cheap to buy, but getting the old ones out. You gotta buy stuff cool.
4 Vans. 4 Perfections is what I want. Four was probably a common number for a band because you'd have lead, singer, bass, guitar, drums, or sometimes your lead singer played rhythm guitar like Tom Petty, and then that the lead guitarist, Fenderman, Mule Skinner Blues. Chris Montez, Let's Dance. A little beat up. Collectibles reissue. All right. Foreman. Barber. Five Express. Foster. 5 Cats. Idols. Flares. Once again, we're working this Northern Soul Top 500 list. Jeffrey from out in Massachusetts sent that to me. It's been invaluable for me to get in and out of these records shops with some kind of a goal. And some of the best stuff is the stuff I find in between. I was just back here for a collector. This guy was quiet, man. He didn't say a word. Usually I get an interview out of somebody, you know, like minds, right? No, this guy was locked in. He just went through about 50 bins, and what's taking me to go through 10. So I was a little quiet in those last few segments. I apologize for that. But what I don't apologize for is being here in a record store on a Saturday, listening to some great music with the chance of finding a gem. And at the end of every episode, we have a gem. It's called RockMine. That's the name of the show. That's the name of the channel on YouTube. You can subscribe by hitting that little button down at the bottom. I'm Detroit Bob, and I'm a record collector, fanatic, all things music, right? 45s are my specialty, my niche. But you'll see an occasional LP, even a cassette or a CD. Don't have any reel-to-reel yet, or I got a few 8-tracks laying around. DVDs, concert stuff, yeah, I'll do that. We're looking for Northern Soul, which is, what would you call it, a subgenre? Not quite based on the Northern England dance scene, clubs, casinos, all-night dance parties that have been going on since the 60s, and sort of got a certain sound, so many beats per minute, you know, and I like it. I listen to it on my Spotify playlist. Oh, now look at that. That's Fantastic Johnny. Speaking of Northern Soul, and I've got this. But we want girls are out to get, no, we want Don't Depend on Me. Same label. Look What Love Can Make You Do with Boogaloo Down Broadway. Now that's the one that we played on Smokey Robinson's Soul Town label. Boogaloo Down Broadway. And the B-side on that one is Look What Love Can Do For You. But I do not see Don't Depend on Me. Unless those you guys from UK might have flown over there and cleaned them out. Which is okay, man. The more the merrier. We couldn't collect the same 2 album if we tried, or the same record if we tried. Flavor. How about Flower Shops? Fascinations. Ooh, here's some unsleeved stuff. I love getting into the unsleeved stuff. You know, you might say, oh, it's only good or good plus. I bet you it plays good enough if you turn it up loud enough. There's nothing wrong with some scratches and some hiss and some crackle in my book. And hardcore collectors, you know, are you going to play it or are you going to eat off of it? You know, or just worship it on a shelf. So you got to decide for yourself. Plus, this show is for beginners, intermediate, and hopefully some hardcore collectors get a kick out of it by telling me what I missed. So I want it to be, you know, a kid could go in and start a collection of 12 45s. And that's how it works. I got my granddaughter starting organizing and alphabetizing 45s for me. So she's my assistant regional manager, I told her. And when she comes over, she helps me out in the shop. So watched a great short documentary on a guy named Bill. Bill's Records. He's been selling records for 40 years. And I'm like, yep, I get it, man. It's in your bug. So I don't have a storefront, but I got probably 15,000 records. So I think Bill's got 50,000. What I like about 45s is they're small. You can get 100 in a backpack. Try doing that with 100 albums and coming over from Europe. Gail Fortune. Jesse Fuller. The Fuller brothers I would look for. Dick Flood. I don't know, man. The Five Expressions. Johnny Ferguson. Tonight's the Night. Eddie Fountain. It's a good record right here. Everybody knows Steve Marriott, right? I've got a couple dozen copies. I got probably close to a dozen copies of it. Itchigu Park. And there you go. Ronnie Lane, Steve Marriott on the writing credit. Produced by Steve Marriott and Ronnie Lane. Why do you know Steve Marriott? Well, he went on to form Humble Pie. And one of his original lead guitarists, I believe, was Peter Frampton. I think he did at least 3 albums with them. I always thought Frampton Comes Alive was sort of Live at the Fillmore, reformulated. So Humble Pie had live. I Don't Need No Doctor. The live version of that is incredible. A little glance around the store. You got the new arrivals. You got another one of these little Caliphone players if you want to listen to your stuff. World music, Christmas records. Sometimes you just get a stack of 45s. There's some new stuff sealed. Record store day leftovers, priced accordingly. A nice looking Sam Cooke. Change is going to come with Shake on that vinyl. And sometimes you get some White Stripes stuff, some Third Man records in here. If I pick it up if it's used. There's a new Arrival rack. Fleetwood Mac in there. There you go. Got Al Green, James Brown, and Curtis Mayfield. Let's see if we got any Curtis Mayfield on the Northern Soul list before I leave. Beatles on VJ number 498. It's 582, 581, 587, 581, 581, 581. Okay, I tried, right? That could be your whole collection right there. These are pretty cool, these colored vinyl reissues. She Loves You and I'll Get You. There's my stack. I got Flying Lizards, but I don't have any Northern Soul. Let's check a couple other categories. I always look for Talking Heads, and I don't find them. T-Rex. Someone's picked all those too. So there you go. Tears for Fears, not so much. You gotta be careful, these things will fall right out. Temptations. Temptations don't have anything on the Northern Soul Top 500, but our Dean Taylor does. and sort of the contours. Isn't that wild? That's how crazy this is. You know you're in Michigan when you see Bob Seger with his own dedicated rack. Let's pull it. Great early Bob Seger, 2 + 2 equals, but 2 + 2 is on my, it's a garage rack really. Jack White has reprinted it in the original yellow artwork. It's incredible. And you'll hear some white stripes in the middle of it, or at least an influence. Death Row is a B-side. Let's check out the condition. Oh, the Demands, I've never seen them before or heard of them. Looks like some kind of rare local. Pretty bizarre. Check out those uniforms. All right, time for me to check out.
Oh, he works from home. Go listen to him. All set, man?
Yeah, I am. I got through the letter F. Of course, always check for Bob Seger.
Yeah, 2 + 2. That's
Yeah.
a jam.
Yeah, it is. Sort of garage rock, you know.
Early.
Yeah, Jack White released it on Third Man. They got a real nice, clean version of it with the original artwork. I plugged your $400 record in my last episode. Found the picture of it on Discogs and dragged it. Said, go to RPM and buy this record. You never know.
You said $20 to do it.
All right, that sounds cool. My goal is to get through A through Z and then start over again.
Yeah, we're always putting more out. So
Yeah, I know.
You always got to keep looking.
What about Tim? Is he still around?
Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yeah, I keep missing him.
Yeah, he only does the mornings.
All right, just tap.
Oh, hold on. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't. Card's gonna be 21.20.
All right.
Doesn't always. You might have to put it. Oh, there it is. Record store day.
Okay.
12th.
I'll put it in there. Yeah, definitely. And I'll do another. This episode will probably drop next Friday.
Tag us in it, man.
Yeah, and tag and do the same on me. You know what I mean? I'm almost at 1,000.
I do the Instagram. I don't do the Facebook.
Okay. Well, I'll try to get it to cross over to Instagram.
Yeah, if I see it, I'll share it.
Okay. And I'm with. Of course, it all goes on YouTube, but I'm almost at 1,000.
Nice.
Supposedly they pay me once I hit 1,000
That'd be
subscribers.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's $80. I'm just dumping it back into records.
The more views you get,
Right.
there's no shortage of 45 dollars.
No. I mean, 30% of the guys watching it are from the Great Britain.
The UK?
Yeah.
I had to turn off international sales.
Yeah.
Majority of them were 45s going to the UK.
Yeah. It's insane. I thought about, hey, I could sell records to the UK. Shipping's insane.
It's like $15 for
And it-
45.
and
it
in
used
China-
to be. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah. Like to get one, to buy one, have it sent over here was like 25 or $30.
And LP is like 25, 30.
That's-
45 used to be about 15.
It's crazy. All right, hang in there, man. See you next time. All right, cool. We're done. RPM Records right there. Talk to Riley. If not, Chase. And you'll probably see Leland the dog. You might smell a little weed when you walk out because there's a dispensary next door. That's sort of a new thing. But good people, good guys. They know their music. There's always good jams in there. And we'll see you next time on RockMine. Let's get a gem of the week out of this.
Detroit Bob back at you for a wrap up. And we're back here in Michigan. And for you guys, that's right up here because that's Traverse City. And what's this? This is a Petoskey stone, the state stone. But we're talking about vinyl. And back again at RPM Records, we did really good. And Record Store Days coming up. These guys are great. We saw Riley over there. We saw Chase. Didn't see Leland or Tim, but I did get back into the 45 room. And I'll tell you what, that Northern Soul list that Jeffrey from Massachusetts sent me is invaluable because it keeps me focused. I just get so geeked up in these record stores that I lose my focus. but I got some nice records. Now, if you want to zoom in, you can see right away the foundations. I thought for sure they were on the Northern Soul, and I think they technically are Northern Soul. If not, I just like them. But on this clean uni label, Build Me Up Buttercup, everybody knows that one. And the company sleeve, what a great pickup that was. Then their other hit, Baby, Now That I Found You. I used to listen to this stuff as a kid on my CKLW compilation LP that came out of Canada. And then they also have the reissue on Eric. So I got the one with the Philly label, and I got the one with the New Jersey label. And these are all good little pickups that you find in between the stuff that you're looking for. Look at that, Inez and Charlie Fox, Mockingbird. And everybody knows this song, right? Because Dumb and Dumber had it, and Carly Simon and James Taylor. But this is the original, man. And the B-side on this, Silver Spotlight, is I Know by Barbara George. So that's pretty cool. Pick that one up. And yes, I got my Motown. Money, but it's not the version you're thinking of. The Flying Lizards, they deconstructed Berry Gordy. It was a Barrett Strong. They did Money. It was the first hit out of Motown, but this is like Devo doing Satisfaction. They totally redid it, and it's a new wave psychedelic. I don't know how you describe it. It's just a deconstruction of a band called the Flying Lizards. So they had the two different versions. This one had the promo label with the blue side. And look, I picked up the picture sleeve, and it's just mint. It's near mint record. I got a little seam split, but I'm happy with that. I couldn't resist the Bobby Fuller 4. You know, I knew the original, but when the Clash first came to the States, the first song I ever heard on rock radio out of Detroit, probably on WRIF, was the Clash doing the Bobby Fuller 4, I Fought the Law, and they killed it. And then later on, I rediscovered the Flash Lost Night, sort of a doo-wop label that saved a lot of these old songs that weren't in print. And of course, the Eric is a great twofer with the Bobby Fuller 4. Once again, I got two versions of that. Now keep going, man, because the fun's just getting started. In the 2000s, they stopped making 45s, but Fuel had sort of a modern rock post-Nirvana hit with this song called In My Hands, Hemorrhage. So I picked that up, and then sure enough, just a mint copy of one of their follow-up songs. It was like 2004. They pretty much stopped making 45s here in the States. You guys over in the UK, different story. Guilty Pleasure, I love these guys. I believe they're out of Birmingham, Michigan, but I could be wrong. Figures on a Beach in a Picture Sleeve, and then two other of their releases, singles, all in near mint. And you know, if you're in Michigan, you got to go look up Bob Seger. And I picked up another good copy of 2+2. Condition was so-so, but I get this song. It's the original garage rock hit. It is one that Jack White on Third Man Records has reissued with the original artwork. And okay, I snuck into the G's, Grateful Dead, Touch of Grey. I saw a guy jumping me over into the G section. We'll do that next time. And it's been great. RPM, how much at all? I got 17 records for $20. So these guys are great. The pricing is great. I'm going to try to make it up here for Record Store Day. So that's all very good. And the name of the show is RockMine. That's the name of the channel also. I'm Detroit Bob. And you can help out by hitting that subscribe button below. And that helps me get up to 1,000. We're real close, 950 almost. And once I do that, I reach more people. So we're going to promote these 45s. That's my niche. That's my love. That's my passion. And guess what? I'm going to come up with a gem of the week out of that whole stack. And that's coming up next. Here it is, the gem of the week. And it is Baby, Now That I've Found You by the Foundations. And this is a London band, a London R&B soul band. There weren't too many of those. And why do I know this song? Because in the 1970 CKLW Solid Gold LP that my sisters had, this was on side B, track number 5. And I played the heck out of this song. I love this song. It was #1 in the UK and #1 in Canada. And CKLW was out of Canada. So we were getting it over the airwaves from Canada, Ontario, into Detroit, and on the radio. And they put out a compilation album of all the big hits. CKLW, what a great station that was. Because it sort of cross-multiplied all the British Canadian scene with the American scene. And Detroit was sitting right there in the middle of it. And I was listening to it on the airwaves and plopping it down on the turntable. This is the Monarch pressing. It's in very good plus shape. It goes for as high as $8. I got it for $1. All right, so you just can't beat it, baby. Now that I've found you. Why? Because I like it. About as close to Northern Soul as I got this trip, but I'll tell you what, the UK guys will appreciate this probably just as much as I do, because it's a piece of my youth, it's a slice of history, and it's an awesome song. RockMine is the name of the show. We'll see you next Friday. We got some more episodes coming up. We're going to go to Italy. We're going to go back down to Florida. We're going to head to a flea market in Illinois. So we got a lot of good stuff. Click that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.